My heart is pumping out of my chest at the moment. Actually, I think that might be the... it's hard to tell. I've got a flashlight on my head, which is my only weapon. I imagine that if anything attacks me, I can hit it with my flashlight because it's quite heavy, and it also has these bat wings. I don't know if you can see those. I feel as if I'm genuinely taking my life in my hands filming this. Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, my name's Kit, and this is most definitely not my world. Welcome to a random special episode. I'm in my car, as you can see. I'm driving, and I'm very, very scared. I'm genuinely scared. I'm not just making it up for the purposes of amusing you in a YouTube video. I'm actually genuinely terrified because I'm driving along the scariest road I know. It's the scariest road I've ever been on. I discovered it by accident a couple of years ago, and I get a very unpleasant, creepy vibe from it. I feel unsafe because it's a narrow, dark, unlit, scary road, but also I feel unsafe because my imagination runs away with me, and I imagine that there are scary creatures out there. Up here on the left, there is what I consider, so I'm going to turn my flashlight on. Can't really see anything. There's a scary shack. Do you know what? See, I didn't like doing that. Just alerted them to my presence. Okay, so here we go. This is the local haunts tag, and the tag was created by Dane Reads, and obviously I will leave a link in the description. I should point out, by the way, that this entire tag is based on a book, which is an anthology book. A lot of writers wrote short stories, and they were all compiled into a book, and each chapter is a separate story, as far as I understand it, and the questions, each of the questions in the tag is based on the title of a chapter in the book, and there are 10 of them. So, question number 1, local haunts. Tell us about a creepy or spooky place that's close to you. Here I am. I'm at it. This is the creepy place that's close to me. I discovered it by accident. I found a shack that I immediately became convinced was the home of a werewolf, and that was a couple of years ago, and since then I've actually been revisiting this place on several occasions for reasons of filming and also testing my mettle, because I'm a cowardy custard. I'm the scaredest person I've ever met, and so I like to scare myself and push myself into these situations where I experience fear as a way of overcoming it and feeling a little bit macho. Can you feel the macho-ness just oozing off me? I'm sure right now I must look like a god in glory. I imagine you're swooning at the mere sight of this incredibly heroic figure you see before you. moving on. Question number 2, A Stone's Throw. Tell us about a story with a young female character who has a tough life. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to dip back into books that you've heard me talk about before. But it is the Empire trilogy by Raymond E. Feist and Janny Wirtz. But specifically, Daughter of the Empire, the first book in the trilogy. This deals with Mara, who is a young 17-year-old girl at the start of the book, and she's just taking her holy vows. She's going to become a priestess of sorts. The last raggedy remaining couple of soldiers arrive back from the war, where her father and brother have been fighting and just died. So she is now the sole heir of her house, and instead of becoming a priestess, she has to take control of the house and take up what's called the game of the country. And she overcomes incredible, insurmountable odds throughout the 3 books. But the first book starts off with her very, very young, naive, inexperienced, and somehow defeating people who are experts at this sort of thing. So that's Daughter of the Empire. Question number 3. Crowthorne. Tell us about a story with a harmful friendship. Well, for this one, I'm going to discuss the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. These books, as one of the central themes, deal with a thing called the wit, or the witted. People with the wit are witted. They can bond with animals. This is seen as a rather unclean, dirty form of magic, and so they live in secret, and they don't share this knowledge with other people. But the main character, Fitzchivalry, has this ability, and he bonds with a few animals over the course of the books, but it's an unhealthy relationship. It's love, and it's beautiful, or at least you think it is, but it's incredibly painful. It brings immense pain and suffering. It's not healthy, it's too intense, it's too much, in my opinion, and also in the opinion of one of the animal characters, who actually says to him, this is, we have gone beyond what is natural, what is right, and what we're doing is not healthy. Yeah, I found that so disturbing that it was disturbing. I found it disturbing enough to be disturbing. It didn't stop me reading the books. I finished all the books and read all the series. But I don't think I'll read them again, because I actually found them quite upsetting. I have an animal thing you may be aware of, and the books do have quite a few triggers for me in that regard. Question number 4. Screen 8. Tell us about a movie that scares you and that's based on a true story. Mommy Dearest. This is the true story of Joan Crawford, the old movie actress from the silver screen, the golden era of Hollywood movies. She was a big Hollywood star, and she adopted a little girl, and the relationship that she had with her daughter was absolutely toxic, and she did terrible things to her daughter, if her daughter's account can be believed. And the film Mommy Dearest is based on the book Mommy Dearest by Joan Crawford's adopted daughter, and it paints a very, very ugly and unpleasant picture of this relationship and of this monstrous woman. And the movie Mommy Dearest starred Faye Dunaway in the role of Joan Crawford, and it can either be perceived as a genius performance of epic proportions. I mean, she puts everything she's got into the role. It's a huge performance, very, very dramatic. So you could see it as this magnificent sort of ball of energy that she creates with this thing, or you could see it as some of the worst overacting ever perpetrated by an overactor in Hollywood. it can be taken either way. The first time I saw the film, I watched it with my mother, and I found it very disturbing, especially the part where my mother turned around to me and said, "One day you're going to write a book like this all about me." And I thought to myself, yes, I probably will. So that was disturbing. And then I saw it again quite recently and found it disturbing just because the acting was so bizarre. Really, really bizarre acting by Faye Dunaway. And it actually kind of messed with my head a little bit. And so for that reason, I'm going to say that I found it scary. Question number 5. The Mount of Death. Beer Me. Tell us about a story where a drink plays a role in the plot. Well, I'm going to cheat a little bit now, and I'm just going to say every single novel by Agatha Christie. Question number 6. The Blocked Cellar. Tell us about your favourite horror, paranormal or true crime YouTube channel. Well, I have to say, as far as I'm aware, I don't actually watch those types of channels, but there are a couple of channels that are kind of horror-based, a little bit, although the people whose channels they are anything but horrific. They're my lovely, lovely friends Josh at Working Man Reads and Nikki at The Dark Between Pages. Question number 7. The Night Watchman. Tell us about a story that's set partly at night. I'm going to say Interview with the Vampire. Now, I could name any number of things because most stories take place partly at night. It's very rare to find something that doesn't. I've just thought of another one, Tom's Midnight Garden. But I'm going to go with Interview with the Vampire because the nighttime is very specific to the whole mood and atmosphere of the story, and also to the emotional life of the main vampire, who really misses the daylight. Question number 8. Alone Along the Gum Trees. I wonder if that's supposed to say Alone Among the Gum Trees. I don't know. I haven't got the book to hand to check, but alone something to do with gum trees. Tell us about a story that takes place in the wilderness. Well, the first one that springs to mind is one that I've discussed. It's A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson. That's 100% in the wilderness. It's the real American wilderness, and it's Bill Bryson and a friend walking the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. Or attempting to, at least. And it's genuinely adventurous and genuinely exciting. Do not be misled by the film, the dreadful film with Robert Redford and Nick Nolte, which tries to be a comedy and misses every single point of the Bill Bryson book. The Bryson book is fabulous and adventurous. The film is just stupid. But anyway, so A Walk in the Woods, that takes place in the wilderness, and Little Red Riding Hood. I'm back to wolves. I'll move swiftly on. Question number 9. Highway to Hell. Tell us about a story that involves music. Well, I'm going to say The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Both of those have a lot of music and musicality in them. Most specifically singing. There are lots of songs in those books, and the characters all like to sing, and I think a few of them might play an instrument or two as well. Question number 10. At the end of the rope. Tag some BookTube and or HorrorTube friends. Well, as far as I'm aware, I don't have any HorrorTube friends, although it's possible that some of my BookTube friends are also HorrorTube people. I don't know, I'm not a horror kind of person, and also, I generally don't tag anyone at all. I think it's rude to tag people. I know, but on this occasion, I'm actually going to tag anyone who wants to do this, but very specifically, just for fun. I'm going to tag anyone willing to film this tag in a scary place, as long as it's a safe place. Don't put yourself in danger. I know I'm currently in danger of werewolf attack and possibly axe-wielding madmen as well. But if you can, try and film your tag somewhere that you find scary at night, but somewhere that's safe. Like I'm doing, I've got my doors locked and my engine running. I'll admit, I had planned on actually getting out of the car and filming the tag in the werewolf shack, because that would have been properly scary, and I was going to film it by the light of my headlight beams. It was going to be very cinematic, but I arrived at the place and got really, really scared. So I've stayed in the car like a coward, and I've got my doors locked and my engine running, and I'm sitting here talking to myself, wondering where the attack will come from. And on that note, I'm going to call it a day and scarper. Thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and haven't already, you know what to do. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will see you next time. See you later.